Yo,
Okay.
it's Jazzy Jazz at Jazz's Place, and I am fangirling out because I have hip hop royalty, pioneer, legend, a founder of trap music, entrepreneur, Grammy nominated, multi platinum, and now officially, and philanthropist, and now
Mhm.
officially New York Times bestseller. What?
Thank you.
Congratulations. I'm talking the one and
I
only
received that.
Snowman.
I
Gee,
received that. How you doing today?
oh, I'm fangirling out. You got to forgive me because you are the soundtrack of my life for real. So,
I can only imagine.
what?
I said I can only imagine.
Well,
Yes, yes.
congratulations on the
Thank
book.
you. Thank you.
Adversity for Sale. You gotta
Mhm.
believe. And fam, you gotta get this book. If you read only one book in a year, this is it. I
That's
promise
the one.
you.
That's the one.
That's the one. That is the
Yeah.
one. So, what was the
Yes.
vision behind the book?
The vision behind the book. I felt like I've told my life in my music. Is if anybody's been following what I've been doing, it was always a motivational path. And I told bits and pieces of my life, throughout every project, every album, and everything I've done musically. And I just feel like it was just time to dig deep and really tell like the backstory. Because I think a lot of times with music and culture, we only see the glamour and the glitz and the finished product
Mm,
and what it looks like on the outside. And you never know what people are going through in real time and what they're dealing with and the type of adversities they have to overcome. And I just kind of felt like I had a little time at the beginning of COVID. I'm like, you know what? God done made me sit down for a minute. Like, let
mm.
me just really dig into the backstory. And I mean, it's very therapeutic. And for me, I would say the reason for writing it is because I don't want people to get it misconstrued. Like, this music culture just all about, just cars and jewelry and
That's fact.
money and all these things. It's just like there are things that take place behind the scenes you wouldn't imagine,
That's
and we
fact.
as cultural leaders have to deal with it. And I just wanted to kind of bring that to the surface. So
And
that was my
I got to commend you on your courage because it takes so much courage to be vulnerable. And
yeah,
here you are, the strongest black man. You are straight
right.
G, but you tell us all, and I think this is so important for black men and black women, all of us really.
Mm,
Give us the lesson and the inspiration that vulnerability is strength. And you open up in such a
yes,
courageous way about what you have been through, about coming out the mud and winning. And I love you for that. And I thank you for that. You've probably helped so many
thank
people
you.
that you can't even imagine. So one
Yes,
thing,
it's a different feel. It's a
yeah,
different feel. Like, a book is different feeling than an album. Like when you're album, people love your music. It's different, but when people come up to you about something you wrote in the book, they're like, "Yo, it's a different feeling." I must say,
yeah, no doubt,
yeah,
no doubt. Now you have said that your childhood was empty and you had to learn how to
yes.
dead your emotions. Talk to us about that.
Mhm. I wouldn't just say dead. I think that you know when you're young, and you suffer post traumatic stress, like just unconsciously, you just disconnect with your emotions because it's a defense mechanism, right? And I saw violence at a very young age. You know what I'm saying? And then as I started to become, a young man, it was something that happened normally, right? And then getting attached to people and seeing them having to go away and do these long stretches that,
Mm.
I think I was 6 or 7 when my uncle had to do a life sentence.
Oh,
I didn't understand, just certain and it just kept happening on and on and on. And what I noticed was, you know, I felt stronger, but my strength was how I was able to detach from people and situations, right? Because now I have no emotional connection to it. So if something happened, it's almost like it's business. You know what I'm saying? It's business as you. This is what happens in business. It's no different from somebody getting fired. You're no longer here anymore. And I went on with that just that mindset, throughout my, later adulthood. And I thought it was okay until I started having kids. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like,
mm.
what's going on here that I'm not able to. And for me, that's when I really started doing the work. And that's why it was easier for me to tell that story in the book and be vulnerable, because I started to understand the more that I owned it before it owned me. I became more like it didn't have the same effect as it did by me keeping it all in. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? It's like, okay, I'm putting it on the table now so everybody can see it. You know what I'm saying? Flaws and all. And
mhm.
and that took the power away from me, if you ask me.
Wow, that is so powerful. You know,
Yeah.
my daughter was killed about 3 years ago, so I
Oh wow.
overstand
Sorry to
that
hear that.
pain. I
Wow. Sorry
overstand
to hear
that
that.
pain. Thank you. You know, she's all my angel. She's always with me. So,
That's
but
right. That's
didn't
right.
you lost your brother at a young age, right?
Well, no, actually, my I had an older brother. He died stillborn, but the reason why I say that is because I took that burden with my mom. Because she always brought that up. It's like, if your brother had been here, so psychologically,
Wow.
I just kind of took that on. You know what I'm saying? His name was Michael, but
Oh,
and I find
R.I.P.
myself like,
Michael.
right. I find myself being like, damn, like, and I and the reason why I speak on it because I felt that burden because um, it felt like, I went through that with my mother because she definitely made it obvious that, this is something that happened and this is our loss. And
Yeah.
yeah, so
And you share a lot about your journey with your mom. I mean, you said it was a toxic relationship. She even pulled a gun on you. What was
yeah,
that like?
mama was about that life.
She was
I
about
mean, it's
straight
about that
G,
life.
huh?
Yeah, but she made me tough though. Like, and I hope that people understand too, because I speak on this and I think a lot of people think that this has something to do with my present day life. But these are things that I had to go back and fix myself, right? Because we did have a toxic relationship, you know what I'm saying? But that stemmed from whatever she went through with her parents and,
Sure.
and her upbringing. And for me, I just wanted to break the cycle, right? Because I realized that it wasn't a healthy cycle. I definitely don't want to take that on my kids and have them take it on their kids. And I don't really regret anything that happened with me and my mother because my mother made me strong. Like she didn't teach me about religion. She didn't teach me about girls. She didn't teach me, but like she made me like tough as nails.
Mm.
And I respect that about her because she was the alpha. She had like maybe 8 brothers and sisters or something like that. But she was the queen. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Because she didn't bite her tongue. You know what I'm saying? Mama put that Vaseline on in a minute, get busy. Like she was like one of them. You know what I'm saying?
You said
She
she
was
would
one of
get
them.
busy.
Yeah, and she was like, she would like, tell me like, you got, hey, they jumped on you. Let's go around there, point them out, and y'all gonna fight one on one. And I respect her for that, but she also taught me not to fear anything. But I think a lot of that came from her fears, right? Or what she been through. So she tried to make me tough because she's a single mother, and she don't want the streets to, to get a hold of me. And I think a lot of that was overcompensation for what she
Hmm.
had been through. So I'm her little man. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
she talking
yeah.
to me like how you talk to a little man, but I'm like, you my mama though. You know
Right. And
what
I'm
I'm
just a
saying?
little boy, but
Right. You know what I'm
yeah. But
saying?
you know,
And
that's a beautiful tribute. And sometimes it's hard to have ambivalent feelings towards someone you loved, you know what I'm saying? Vulnerable. What was the hardest part to write about? The hardest part to share?
probably like losing my good friend and confidant Shakir Stewart.
Mm.
Because he killed himself.
Oh,
Uh
oh, that's so
and
painful.
he was a ball of energy. Like he was just so infectious. Like he was just one of those people, Oakland native. So,
Mm-hmm.
he had all the savoir faire, he just had charisma and he was
Mm.
just a good dude and he was just great to be around. And he had a lot to do with my career. He basically walked me into Def Jam and got me signed with L.A. Reid and Kevin Liles. And, about, I want to say my second, third album is when he took his own life. And again, that thing kicked in from the streets where, I was numb to a lot of things. So I kind of like, I dealt with it, but I didn't deal with it. You feel what I'm saying? Like I didn't go through the emotions of what happened. I kind of was just like, damn, okay, this is different. I never had this happen. And I had to be strong for all the people around me. So
Oh,
I
that's
felt like having to write about it was one thing, but actually uh, having to do do the audio book and kind of act it out,
Mm.
that kind of, that hit
That had
hard.
to hit hard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it was because at that time I had to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? And
Wow.
it was like a stack of bricks. You know what I'm saying? It hit hard, but doing the work, you learn that like you got to deal with the emotions so that it doesn't have the same impact. And every time it hit, it get lesser and lesser and lesser. But that one time it hit, like when I had to do the audio book,
Ooh.
it was like it was one of them like wow, you
Yeah,
know,
I can
yeah,
imagine. And I think that's the other thing about you, Jeezy, that is such an inspiration and how you've helped so many people. You are giving back in so many ways. And I think your own evolution, because so many of us just get stuck in our trauma, and
right,
just we act out from our trauma, don't even know why we're doing what we do. But you have talked about how you were depressed and didn't know it, which I think impacts a lot
right,
of folks. You struggled, I think, with alcoholism, right?
yep,
And
yep,
and now you're on this healing journey. Talk to us
right.
about that.
Well, I mean, of course, the alcoholism came with self-soothing. It
Mhm.
came with, um, my upbringing. You know what I'm saying? That was my upbringing. My uncles and my aunts, everybody drank, everybody got their check, they went to the liquor store, it was a thing.
And
For
we
me, it was
understand why.
right. It was a way for me to kind of escape what was going on because I wasn't a drug guy. Like I wasn't like doing any drugs and nothing like that. So, you know, alcohol at the time seemed cool. That was what everybody was rapping about. You saw it everywhere you went. You're young, you're not old enough to drink, and it's just like, but I can still do what I want to do. And it was something I thought I could control at first, and it was cool until I started to get a little older and started to have real issues, right? And I found myself because it could be cool as something to do, but if you go into it as a vice, then that's a whole nother thing. And that was something I had to get out of. I had to really fight through that myself because I had to understand that I was using it wrong. And don't get me wrong, like I still, I still have a glass of wine every now and then. Like, but I'm saying I'm not using it as a tool to self-soothe anymore.
Right,
It's
right.
like, all right,
It's not the
celebrate.
medication anymore.
Right. I'm
But you
celebrating
and
something.
you've done just a lot of work just in general on yourself, like you're
Yeah.
meditating. So
Still,
spiritual
still,
journey. Yeah.
like still. But I mean, I had to, because the thing about it is, as black men, we're ashamed of like, like putting that, you know, out there. Like I got to, but I'm gonna tell you, as somebody who's been through a lot of stuff, if you don't, what I mean, start to work through it, you're gonna self-destruct.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Ooh,
And
pearls,
you,
pearls, people, pearls.
you know what I'm saying? And you're gonna bring everything down around you. And I'm in a position of leadership, and I know that I'm leading men and women. I have to be in my best mental space. I have to have clarity, especially when you're coming from a place where the decisions you made cause people, time in prison and time away from their families. It's just like this is a different game. And I think a lot of culture. What happens is a lot of these young black men get into this, and there's a lot of money in it, and all this. And where we come from, we like once I get $20 million, I'm be straight. Money actually amplifies the problem. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
that's
Because
interesting. That's
yeah, because
interesting.
you don't have the same rules, and you got access to anything, and it also comes with ego and all these different things. Not to say we don't want the money, but you ever seen where you have these billionaires and they just more depressed than somebody that's living on the street corner?
It's true. They be
Got,
jumping out
they
windows
got
and stuff
everything.
sometimes. Yeah.
They got everything, but they ain't did the work on themselves. And it's like an automobile. You know what I'm saying? It's all, and I say this all the time. It's like a refrigerator. If you leave stuff in the refrigerator for a long time, you don't clean it out. What happens?
Oh, I love that.
You know what I'm saying? As soon as
That
you
is
open it up,
fire.
as soon as you open it up, you're dealing with spoiled food and this, that, and the other. And it's just like that. If you keep these things inside of yourself and you don't clean yourself out, over time, this is what happens. Like, and you wonder why we see a lot of our people behind us as far as the next generation, like, while they're self-soothing, while they're doing all these things, and we're looking at them as if they're wrong. They're not. They're trying to self-soothe because their reality is so much different than ours. But now they got the money to go with it, right? But at the same time, they don't have the tools to begin the journey. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right, right, right.
Right.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the music because, fam, unless you've been living under a rock, you probably
Yeah,
know that there is this fire, dope new album out. I Forgive, but I Don't Forget on your own, not new, but on your own label, independent label,
yeah.
CTE New World. Congratulations on that.
Thank you,
And
thank you.
I mean, the pen game is nice. The beats are
Yeah.
hard. But what's interesting, I mean, and you still got a little of that trap or die and everything in there, but I
Mhm.
feel there's more vulnerability in this album.
Mm,
So just talk to me about some of the songs. Like for example, you spit about pain and betrayal in What I Gotta Do.
right. So to me, like I need people to know, like the reason why this album sounds different because around this time, I perfected my journaling, and a lot of this is like taking, I think it's what 20 something songs on there. It's like taking 20 something songs out of my
Woo!
journal, something pages out of my journal, and putting them in the records. And that's what this album was. It was basically like, and it's real. It wasn't for monetary gain. It wasn't for. It's like, okay, I'm gonna let you guys inside my journal. This is how I feel about all this shit that's going on, and I'm gonna forgive. I'm gonna forgive them, but I'm not gonna forget because I know better than that. But I'm even letting them know that you are forgiven, good, bad, ugly, whatever, and I'm
Wow,
moving on because I got to do that for me. And forgiving ain't for them; it's for me, right?
that's
And
what's
that's what that
up.
was about. And then like what I got to do was just like me, the spectrum of love, like having love for someone, and they betray you, right? Which is the first verse, and the second verse is having love for someone that you want to protect, which is my sister. And it's just like, tell me what I got to do on both of these sides because I tried to do what I thought that you wanted, and instead, you took advantage of me, right? And then
Mm.
it's like, but I'm no longer that little kid no more. So I'm a grown man. So I'm telling my sister, like, what I gotta do to make sure you're straight. Cause I promised my mom that I'm gonna make sure we straight. So
Oh, I'm
you just
so
tell me
here
what I
for
gotta
that.
do, no matter what that is. You know what I'm saying? Cause your brother's still gangster now. So if I gotta, you know what I'm saying? Like whatever you need me to do, I'm gonna handle it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just that spectrum, and I think, and which is one of my favorite samples. I love that sample. And that's the thing. Like this project was like soulful, and it was definitely an acquired taste. Like if you don't really know about soul, if you don't know about pain, if you don't know about strife, you know what I'm saying, and you just want to turn up all day, this might be different for you. But if you get in those
No,
spots where
but those are universal experiences. I think it's
yeah,
again your courage to be vulnerable comes through on the
right,
album. There was one, oh man, there is one banger that just almost had me in tears about Pac, and I'm gonna mess up the
oh yeah,
lyrics. But you talk about, I ain't shed a
right,
tear since Pac died, and then you say,
right, right.
it hit me when my pop died, and I'm still
No, I
running.
was saying I want to clarify that because people say that. I said it hit me. It hit me when Pop died. I'm talking about Pop Smoke, the
Oh,
kid that was
Pop
from
Smoke,
Brooklyn.
yeah, when Pop Smoke
Yeah,
died,
because yeah,
yeah,
because
okay,
I
that's good to
I had
know.
a Super Bowl. I had a Super Bowl party at my house for Puff a long time ago when the Super Bowl was in Atlanta, and I had never met Pop. He was in there with like Meek Mill and Fab and all
Right,
them.
right, right,
But
right.
I could tell that everybody was trying to rally him up, and so I never like knew him personally, but we kind of chopped it up when he was at my compound that night. And when I heard about him getting killed in the hills of
Uh,
Beverly Hills, it just didn't make sense for me from a kid to hustle all the way out of Brooklyn to die in the hills of Beverly Hills because
uh,
that's what you work to get to. So
right,
it was like to me, it just hit me different because it's like, damn, like where else was he supposed to go?
right,
Right? He got out of Brooklyn and he got there, and everybody know that Hollywood is a place of dreams.
right.
And then he gets killed there. So that took me back, and I was like, damn, that hit me different. And when Pac died, right? When Pac died, like Pac is one of the greatest to ever walk the earth when it comes to pain and talking to his people and being a revolutionary. One of my favorite, if not my favorite artist ever. And the relation
Yes,
to that the relation to
yes.
that record is the relation to that record is I remember vividly when my cousin came in and told me that they shot my boy. Now, mind you, young, you in the hood, you like, shit, who? Because you think it's probably somebody you went to school with or whatever. Come to find out, he said, turn on the TV, and it was Tupac.
Wow.
And that's when they started talking about he died and da da da. And I just remember crying because I felt like I lost my brother.
Wow.
And the connection to that is that's the last time I remember crying. But the connection to that is my mom and Tupac were born on the same day,
What?
right?
Wow.
Yes. So that was the connection to the record because the record is really about my mom.
Yeah, because you
The
say in
same
there, you
day.
say, Mama died
Yeah,
and I didn't know how to
know
grieve.
how to grieve. So that the last time I remember
Powerful.
crying was when Tupac died, right? Because somewhere around then I still had a little emotions. When my mom passed, I went back into that protection state
Mm.
where, you just go back into them childhood wounds where I can't let this break me because this is the one thing I
Oh,
ever feared. So what I'm saying in that song is just like I'm talking to my mom like, yo, it's the last time this ever happened to me, but I need you to know this, and it's like these are all the things I would have told her, right? And
wow.
I think that song was so special because my mom and Tupac was born on the same day.
Wow. No, that song is powerful. I think you also talk about in there about running from your demons, and then you talk
Oh
about
yeah, for
when
sure.
they tried to charge your firstborn with murder. I was like,
Mhm.
yo, you know?
Yeah, it's a deep one.
Yeah.
It's a
So
deep one. I think Tupac would be proud. I know my mom would.
I think he would too. I think he would
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Another song in there that kind of goes against the common trope about black men was real niggas don't cheat.
They
And
don't.
everybody thinks, okay, you got swag, you look good
Right,
like you do,
right,
you're a boss. Of
right,
course you cheat. That's what they think,
right,
right? But in
right.
that song, you kind of say, nah, a real
Mhm.
man don't cheat. What inspired that?
No, no, real niggas don't
Real
cheat.
niggas don't cheat.
Everybody
I
ain't a
love
real
it.
nigga. but
That
my
dead ass,
my
dead ass. I'm here
yeah,
for it.
my thought process to that is how do I uplift my brothers? Like how do I put my because that's the new real man, right?
Yeah,
Because that's where you come from, but we're elevating now. We're in another space and we're real
right,
men.
right.
But I had to put it in the cool way that the culture would be like, yeah. Yeah. But
No,
my
the
my
women, I
my
gotta tell you, the females love that song.
yeah,
Okay.
no, but by the way, it's one of the
We
best
love that
produced
song.
records. Shout out to the Ozzy Brothers for clearing that sample. One of the best produced records on there. But what I wanted to do was uplift my brothers because, a lot of times we get demonized for judging a book by its cover, right? And there's men out there who really have integrity. You know what I'm saying? Who really stand on what they believe. They try and feed their family. They trying to change the quality of life of people around them, and they're really focused. Like I'm
Dead
around a lot of them
ass.
all the time,
Dead
and we don't
ass.
even talk about like like low vibration shit. You know what I'm saying? It's always building and helping each other out and looking out for each other and what resources I got and this and how your kids and woo 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 woo. It's never like low vibration stuff. So I just wanted to uplift, the brothers out there who are really standing on business and really being, just integral and really holding it down because I
I
don't
love
think we
that.
get celebrated. We don't get celebrated enough.
No, it is so true. It is so true. So
Uh,
thank you for celebrating those brothers. We appreciate you for that. For real, for real. So you have collabed with everybody, the greatest in hip hop, even pop, Demi Lovato. Who
yep.
haven't you done a collab with that you would want to? Is there anybody out there?
1000%.
Who?
Sade. I can't
Ah,
I
my
can't wait.
girl.
Yes,
That would be
sir.
beautiful though. I am
Yeah.
so here for that. Sade,
Yeah,
pick up the
she's the
phone.
greatest.
Pick up the
She's the
phone.
greatest. I would have said Maxwell as well, but me and Maxwell have a record that's on one of my drives. I gotta find. We recorded a record a long time ago in New York. I gotta find it, but when I find it, just coming out, I'm just
It's
gonna give
coming
Maxwell.
out. So
Yeah.
why Sade though? Why Sade?
I just love Sade, man. Sade is
Oh.
my happy. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. I mean, even but what I equated Sade with was when I was younger and I was coming up and I first got turned on to her. It was always by people that I respect. You know what I'm saying? Like my cousins introduced me to the Soul to Soul, Keep On Moving. But I'm equating this with I'm putting this with how I'm seeing them pull up in these fly cars. They get money. And it was when I started getting around people I really respected how they move. And it was just like you had these straight G's and they just, listening to Sade and you know what I'm saying? I'm just like, damn, I like that. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying? And
Sade,
they just put me, yeah,
Sade. I never
and they
knew
just
she
put
had
me in
that
a
effect.
space where they just put me in a space where you're just at peace, you know. And it's like I feel like that when I go on, when I'm on some water, I'm on the beach, I'm on a boat. That's the first thing on my playlist. I'm gonna go through the
Yeah.
whole Sade catalog
I
before I go to
feel
anything
you.
else.
It's
Yeah,
just
I
like a
love Sade.
sunset and a sunrise and a
Yeah,
mojito
it
or
is.
something, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah, it
who
is.
give it what's the funniest story you have about collabing with somebody?
Funniest story I got about collabing with somebody would gotta be Kanye West. Every time I've collabed with Kanye, it's just been something different. He's very creative, and he's very intense about the way he goes about what he does. And there's been times where like we would be watching a movie and he would be like, yo, and it could be like a movie that's not even in English. You know what I'm saying? He's like, yo, I want you to rap so they'll understand. And I'm just looking like, you know what I mean? Like he would just do things that are like unorthodox, you know what I'm saying?
Like
And
what?
like, I mean, it would just it just would be different. Like I remember Kanye had me come all the way to Hawaii to listen to a record we was doing, and I was out there like almost 2 weeks while he's working on a snare. I don't know if you know what a snare is. It's just like and he had
Yeah.
all these different people coming in to do this snare, and I'm like, bro, it sounds the same way the first one sound. Like I've been in Hawaii 2 weeks to do this record, and he finally got it. He's like, okay, this is the one. You know what I'm saying? And then he had me fly all the way back out there. He did this record called "It's Amazing." He had me fly all the way back out to Hawaii. Then I had to get on a helicopter to fly to this other part of Hawaii to do a video. And if you ever see the video, it's called "Amazing." To do a video
Yeah.
on a beach, and he had like a pile of like wood or whatever, like trees, and they set them on fire. So basically, I could have done this scene in Georgia in my backyard because you can't even see me. You know what I'm saying?
But he
It's
had to
just
get you
smoke.
on that helicopter.
It was just
Hey,
smoke. I'm just
deep
like,
pockets.
yo. I'm like, yo, you had me fly all the way back out to Hawaii just shooting some smoke. You can barely see me. I'm telling you, you could barely see me.
I'll
You
have
could
to
have put
watch.
anybody in
Oh,
there.
watch it again.
But we love Kanye though. He's yeah,
Okay, well, I wanted to ask about your money moves because you are about that bag, that corporate thugging life. So maybe a few things about that, and then just tell us what's next for you, like you're
oh
going
man.
on tour and all that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm really just focused on, just promoting my book right now, Adversity for Sale. Just really locking down, doubling down on my real estate, and all my business ventures. So this is like my quiet time. You know what I'm saying? I'm just focusing on my moves
That's what's
uh
up.
to make sure. So, and of course I'm gonna always tour. Um and your question was
Well, just in
what's next?
terms of, getting the bag, which you share a lot about building
Mhm,
generational wealth with
mhm,
folks, giving back
mhm,
again. So just
mhm.
wanted to get your thoughts on, building that generational wealth and those money moves, getting that bag.
Yeah, I think that as long as you're doing something that aligns with your purpose, that aligns with who you are, you're already getting to the bag. That's real wealth. And for me, it's just like, breaking that glass ceiling and just building things that are tangible. I was talking to somebody the other day, we were just talking about it, just like, I'm not a real big stock market guy, but I love dirt. I grew up in a single ride trailer, so I know what it's like to not have nothing. So
Wow.
I'm gonna buy as much dirt and as many buildings as I can get, any day because that's just what I love. Actually, I actually enjoy it. As far as business, I got a bunch of things coming. This 24, I actually have a movie coming out this year called Trap City
Oh,
that
that's what's
I
up.
starred in and executive produced and scored. But for me, it's just like it's to build generational wealth, you have to build a great team. You know what I'm saying? So right now I'm focused on my team, building, expanding what we got, taking it to the next level, and just making sure everybody's focused.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Well,
Yeah,
Jeezy, what an honor. Thank you so much. Fam, make
thank
sure
you
you download the music,
for sure, for
get
sure.
good, but I don't forget, and get the book, Adversity
Yes,
for
yes.
Sale. You gotta believe. Jeezy, it's been
Thank
an honor. I so appreciate you. Thank you.
thank you so much.